See the motion.
You gave me. Oh no, it's you. No, did you give me?
It's on the back.
I think it's 3 minutes. Place, you're supposed to be up there. It's school board meeting for July 23rd, 2026. Would you please join me for a moment of silence? Thank you. Will you join us for the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible.
Next, we have approval of the agenda. I need to make 2 changes. I want to remove under C, under maintenance, C1, the ERC room. I want to remove that from the agenda. And I want to add under 4A3, human trafficking awareness and preparedness.
Move to approve as amended.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. Any other discussion? Vote, please. Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Vote, please. Motion carries. Next, we have public comment on actionable items. Thank you. Our first speaker is Seth Schaefer.
Do I need to just come to the podium?
Yes, please. And you'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you. It's a bit hard to comment before discussion, but my son currently gets ABA therapy in the classroom, so that's kind of what brought me out about that. I do understand kind of the state law that was passed and why we have to have a framework and all of that. It's been hugely beneficial for my son. So as a parent, I hope that that discussion and the policy really tries to continue what's already been in place and what's worked well in a lot of cases. I think specifically with the guidelines, the one that seems to me trickiest is sort of defining what a disruption in the classroom might be, and then defining how many disruptions would result in services being terminated or being an issue. The other guidelines, kind of as discussed, seem cut and dried about appropriate licensing, with therapists, background checks. The one that seems debatable is how to define what a disruption might be with a therapist coming in. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Steve Schaefer.
I'm the grandfather of the young man in discussion that's getting the therapy. I guess my consideration is I taught for 30 years here in Dickson County. And when we look at what disruptive behavior might be called, what I would tolerate in my classroom as disruptive behavior might be totally different from the lady next door. She would not tolerate anything that I might tolerate. So when we talk about disruptive behavior in the classroom, that's pretty subjective. And who's going to determine just what level that behavior becomes disruptive or not? And this therapy has been great for my grandson. I don't know what we would have done without it. And I think having one instance of a problem being up for getting rid of that person who's doing the therapy might be a little bit strict. So I guess what I'm thinking of, maybe think of being a little bit not quite so vague in what we're going to do and just what qualifies as disruptive behavior.
Thank you. Next, we're going to move to recognitions.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I would ask that Reese Kelso from Creekwood High School come forward, please. And I would ask Dr. Misty Marvin and anyone from Creekwood that would like to be in this picture. Reese, congratulations to you. I think you're the first for Dickson County. So Reese is an outstanding student leader who has made a positive impact at Creekwood High School through his service and leadership. He is a 4-year member of student government and youth leadership and currently serves as the senior class president. Beyond Creekwood, Reese has excelled in the Beta Club leadership. After serving as the Tennessee State Vice President last month, he was elected National Beta Club Vice President. Reese, congratulations. Reese, yes, that is a big accomplishment.
Yes.
So proud of him and all of our students for participating in Beta. Our next recognitions, if I could have Miss Melissa Garten and the following individuals please come forward. Betsy Grove, James Tinsvold, Tracy Almond, Tim Fultz, Jason Legan, Vance Hardin, Jerry Lewis. All of these individuals went down to Austin, Texas. In fact, I shared a picture of them on the bus going to the airport. Mr. George Dufty drove them, and we're appreciative of George. And Mr. Dennis Decker, if he would come forward. All of these drivers participated in the Tennessee at the International School Bus Driver Safety Competition. Well, we had some winners come back with Melissa. And so, Melissa, would you like to talk about who our type A, C, and D winners were? And we are so appreciative of Dennis Decker for being a judge. So thank you, Mr. Decker. Miss Melissa?
James Tempo, which is not here, one type A, completely. Second time.
That's all of our recognitions for tonight.
Okay, next we'll move to staff report recommendations. Curriculum and instruction.
Yes, as a reminder, we put out a request for bids for a culture initiative that will take place in all of our schools throughout the district. We had 3 bids that were submitted, and so we developed a team of 3 who reviewed those bids and made the recommendation that you see before you.
One of the things I would like to add to this, if you would open up your folder, I have placed a timeline for the Leader in Me timeline and comments, quotes from our principals and assistant principals regarding this curriculum.
You need a motion to approve this?
Yes,
Make
sir.
a motion to approve this initiative program Leader in Me.
Have a motion and a second to approve the district-wide culture initiative. Have any other discussion? Vote, please.
We will share at the August planning the continuum of the timeline and what that looks like for this initiative.
Next, we have United Way.
United Way, raise your hand, tutoring grant is a grant we have received for the past 3 years. It provides after-school tutoring for elementary students, and these are the funds that we've used to pay our teachers and our bus drivers for the past 3 years.
Looking for a motion to accept it.
Yes, please.
Move to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the United Way Raise Your Hand Tutoring Grant. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention.
Board members, thanks to Ms. Lampley and the TSBA, we're aware of this new law that was just passed that requires in the 26-27 school year for all age grade appropriate, for all grades, to have grade appropriate child trafficking prevention and awareness instruction. Thanks to Dr. Winstead, Ms. Morrow, and Ms. Marvin, Dr. Marvin, we have created that awareness and prevention plan, and would seek the board's acknowledgement of this. I don't think you actually have to approve this because it's just curriculum, but you do. The law says by August 1st, each local Board of Education must adopt a plan to implement requirements for trafficking education. So we've developed the curriculum, and basically the board just has to adopt that we're going to have human trafficking education grades, age appropriate grades K through 12. And others can answer questions about the curriculum, not me.
So within the elementary school, there's really not health classes. Our counselors teach topics. And so this section of the human traffic awareness will be placed in with counselors, and you can see what kindergarten topics would touch on, first grade, second grade. You will also see an alignment to the Tennessee health standards all the way up to fifth grade. In the middle school, you will see that all 3 grades are taught in health. These topics, you will see what the topics range from. You will see the state standards that are a part of that.
Did you say health?
Yes, sir. They have health. In 6th, 7th, and 8th, these are already taught. If you look at the 9th grade, prior to family life awareness, the human trafficking will be a separate part from the unit of family life awareness within that, because the law states that they have to be separated. So we are doing a unit on human trafficking. Grades 10 through 12, they only have help in the 9th grade, but they will touch on this topic because by law it has to be done every year. And you see the plan of how we will implement this curriculum. So, Miss Melinda, Dr. Marvin, do you have anything to add? Thank you, Dr. Marvin.
Mary and I actually work on
Thank you. Dr. Winstead, anything to add? Miss Murray? Miss Murray? Any additions? Okay, thank you.
Do we have any questions?
No,
Yes.
Mr. Hall, this might be for Mr. Hall. Being curriculum, does all curriculum not have to actually be an approval?
I guess so, yes. Yes.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the curriculum for the human trafficking awareness and preparedness. Do we have any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we move to finance.
Good evening. We have the June monthly reports, but we won't be asking for approval as we're still finalizing year end. So these are just numbers that I pulled as of the day we had to have things due to the board. So it's already changed a little since then. But as of the date that I did it, revenues were up compared to last year at June. Expenditures were also up. Property tax was up. Sales tax was down, but it's missing 1 month. So once we add that in, then it'll be above last year. Utilities are up. Diesel fuel and gasoline are both up at year end. So next month, I'll bring to you June and July and the quarterly financials, the fourth quarter.
Have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the long pair contract extension.
So this is the same that was presented to you at the planning session. This is just a 1-year extension to our existing lawn care contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve to the extension for the lawn care contract. Do we have any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, under maintenance, we have surplus items.
Just a list of surplus items that need to be sold. We do this every year. There have been a few other items that principals have requested, in-kind like type items to exactly what we have here.
Motion to surplus.
I have a motion and a second approving the surplus items. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have COPS grant matching.
You may remember the last 2 years, we have used an outside agency to apply for the COPS grant. We're applying for the COPS grant to update our cameras for all schools. This year, I'm going to make my own attempt at applying for the COPS grant, and I can't do any worse than the other grant writers have done. But what the COPS grant does require is a 25% matching funds, and so that amount would be $74,191.54, and we would take that from current safety funds. So I'm looking for your approval to apply, knowing that that matching will happen if we get it.
You get the grant, we'll find the money. Motion to approve.
Is that money, is that recurring expense, or would that be the initial expense of the installation and everything?
My understanding is it's the initial expense of the cameras themselves and the installation. Yes.
And there will be recurring fees throughout after the installation.
Kayla here. She probably would know more, but yes.
No, he said no.
No.
So for upgrading, it would be upgrading what we have now. I think you're probably thinking about the extensive one that we tried to get before.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is an upgrade of what we have now. Is that what my understanding is?
Did you get a second?
We didn't yet.
I don't know. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All eyes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Human Resources Report.
This evening, you have the two reports that you receive monthly, the Human Resources Report, which has the retirements, resignations, non-renewals, leave of absence, and the hires, transfers, assignments, and reassignments. And then last month's graph of the employee exit notifications.
We would like to recognize Greg Brees, Athletic Director, Burns Middle School, 25 years. Thank you, Mr. Brees, for your dedication to public education. So,
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I guess I got a question. Do you have a number? I hate to put you on the spot, but do you have a number on your opens currently?
I do. I've been figuring that. So right now, throughout the district, we have 10 teacher openings, regular from elementary, middle school, and high school. Our large number is our SPED teachers. So we have 11 openings right now, but we have leads on 6. Dr. Johnson is working feverishly on finding people, and we are too.
So you're looking for 11 certified teachers.
10
Oh, 10.
for
Okay.
the regular classrooms, 11 for SPED, but
Okay.
we have leads on 6.
Thank you.
So of these 10 teachers, are any of those third grade teachers?
No, not today.
Oh, I do got one more.
Thank you.
Do you, are we fulfilling our obligation to our grant for our free with all certified teachers?
I don't think I understand the question.
The pre-K teachers for the pre-K grant, are we using certified teachers for that? I think is what he's asking.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes,
So that obligation is fulfilled.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Sorry, Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Ms. Hall.
No.
Next, we'll move to transportation.
Transportation has 3 other things that we talked about at the planning session for the surplus items. One is the double wide beside the transportation department. Another one is a tech vehicle that is just kaput. We need to get rid of. And the other one is a Trailblazer that we've had at the garage since the 90s. It has about 350,000 miles on it that needs to be replaced. So those are the surplus items that we'd like to dispose of. We have a selling September.
Move to surplus.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the surplus items for transportation. Any other discussion?
Next is an annual.
Hold on a second. Vote, please. You're fine. You're ready to move on.
All eyes.
All right, now you can go.
Okay. Next is the transportation report that's annually that I give to y'all that just kind of goes over the information that we've done at transportation for the year. We went around the earth 53 times and to the moon 5.5 times, and we drive about 6,000 miles a day. So,
Always a good report to see.
any questions on that?
no student injury.
And no student injury. That's all that matters.
That's right.
You said that you eliminated 3 routes.
3 routes.
That's still
That's still out there. Hopefully we don't have to put another one back at Oakmont with all those apartments coming in on Beasley. So I've got my fingers crossed.
Mr. Parker.
Do you have transportation openings in your shop and buses?
We do. We have now 2 mechanics. My lead mechanic's leaving the end of this month. So there'll be 3. And then I have 6 openings for drivers and subs.
How many
And-
mechanics is that going to leave you?
4. And I have some monitors positions open
I feel like all your mechanics will be driving.
every day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Next, we'll move to student services field trips.
Dickson County High School girls soccer will attend the Smoky Mountain Classic Soccer Tournament in August, the 21st through the 23rd. I would ask for your approval. Thank you.
You motion?
I did.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the field trip. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we'll move to second read policies.
Yes, ma'am, the 3 policies that are up for second read, no changes have been made since the planning session.
So the first one's 5.200, 5.201, and 5.202.
Would you like to do them individually? Madam Chair?
Sure, we'll do them individually. 5.200.
Tim, Mary, not me.
Motion to approve 5.200.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve on second read 5.200. Any other discussion or questions? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Next, we'll move to 5.201.
Motion to approve 5.201.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion or questions? Motions to approve 5.201 on second read. Vote, please.
All ayes.
Next, we have 5.202.
Motion to approve 5.202.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve 5.202 on second read. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Next, we have first read.
First policy is 2.400 revenues. There have been no changes since the planning session, but as a reminder, these changes are based upon proposals from the comptroller's office due to the pennies no longer being produced.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve policy 2.400 on first read. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Policy 4.215.
Can we move that to the end and do it separately and just skip to 4.301?
Yes. So 4.301. One change since the planning session. During the discussion, it was requested that lines 32, 33, and 34 from the last page be included in all three of those last sections. So those lines were added to all three of the last sections of the policy.
Move to approve 4.301.
We have a motion and a second to approve 4.301 on first read. Any other discussion? Vote please.
All ayes.
5.302 sick leave. Based upon the discussion at the planning session, lines 16 through 18 on page 1 were taken out. And as a reminder, a state law was passed in the spring that revised the allocation of sick days and personal and professional days for teachers and other employees of school districts to reflect what you see here in the proposed policy.
This doesn't change the total. Is that true for Dickson County?
It is not. Previously, all employees received 1 sick day per month and then 2 personal days total. And this just reallocates 4 personal/professional days and then lowers those numbers by 2 for sick days.
Thank you.
It's the same total number.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve 5.302 on first read. Any other discussion? Vote please.
All ayes.
5.303 is with the personal and professional leave. And again, is updated to reflect the law that was passed that all employees would receive 4 personal/professional days moving forward.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve 5.303 on first read. Any other discussion? Vote please.
All ayes.
Policy 6.200 attendance. There have been no changes since the planning session, but as a reminder, a state law was passed in the spring that says if we receive a student from another school district mid-year, that student's attendance record would follow them. And if they are already in the tiered attendance system, they would remain in the same tier they were in the previous school district.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve 6.200 on first read. Any other discussion? Vote please.
All ayes.
6.2041, the admission of suspended or expelled students. There have been no changes since the planning session, but as a reminder, a law was passed in the spring that says if a student withdraws from our school district in the middle of being investigated for an offense, then the school district, we as the school district can continue that investigation to see its conclusion. Then if that student returns to the school district at a later time, whatever consequences would have been administered can be administered at that time.
They might have been in. If they were freshmen, they come back as a sophomore.
Then whatever consequences follow them, yes, sir. They should have gone to NDA for whatever the offense was, but they withdrew to homeschool or to a private school. When they return, they would go to NDA.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second to approve 6.2041 on first read. Any other discussion? Vote please.
All ayes.
6.306, interference or disruption of school activities. There have been no changes since the planning session, but as a reminder, a law was passed in the spring that says if we have to evacuate a classroom due to a student being unable to control his or her behavior, then we have to notify the students who were in that classroom, their parents, that the classroom was evacuated, and the other information that you see there in the proposed policy. We've developed a procedure for tracking those evacuations and those notifications to parents throughout the year, since that's also what the law requires. And a link will be sent to principals before the first day of school, so that when that happens, they submit the information via the link. We have access to the information throughout the year in a spreadsheet to be able to track it.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
These next three policies, 6306, 64053, and 6.412, as well as policy 4.215, all need to be passed on first reading because they're all designed to take effect on this school year. So I would suggest, so we only have to do it once, that we waive the second reading for these four policies and then take up the policies after we waive second reading for these four. Or the board can do it on each one, but it may be simpler to just waive it for all four.
So 6.306, 6.412, 6.4053, and 4.215. So we've already approved all of the ones for first read, right? Of the others, these we need to have
Right.
the motion to
These
waive.
would need to, these policies, since they take effect at the beginning of the school year, need to be passed with a waived second reading, which we're allowed, which the board's allowed to do under law and its own policy.
All of these are being implemented due to state law change, right?
Correct.
State law being in effect, does any of the law say that we must adopt a policy? Because our policy is going to show the administration the way the board wants the law to be carried out, but without the policy, the law still would have to be carried out, even if our policy isn't passed. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying. For the district, the LEA, to be in compliance with the law, the policies need to be adopted before the school year. If the board chooses not to adopt the policies on waiving the second reading, then I suppose technically the board would not be in compliance with the law because the board had not adopted a policy in a timely fashion.
Chair?
Yes.
I agree with you, Mr. Parker. It seems like our legislature has passed laws of late requiring boards to pass policies, and the law still will always supersede what we do, but passing the policy lets our people know that we're aware of the law and we have a policy in place for the administration to have procedures to carry out. So I think in this case, it's probably, I'm not a fan of it, but I think we almost have to do it this time.
And I will add, Mr. Parker, in the administration defense, these laws weren't effective until either July 1 or July 31. So until their effective dates, they're not effective.
The SBA releases their model policies, as you all know, mid-June.
It was the same thing with cell phones last year.
Yes, Ms. Thiel.
Can we just pull out 6.4053 to have so that we can have discussion on that one, since we had speakers come to address some issues that they felt like were in the policy that perhaps we need to discuss a little further. So instead of
We can do them separate.
I think he suggests we talk about all of just vote on the first one until we get through the last of them. We should discuss all of them though.
I wasn't suggesting not having discussion and debate on each policy. I was just saying we
Don't make a motion on this one until we get them all done, is what I heard.
correct.
They're looking forward to move forward.
Do we have to have,
It's the board's pleasure on whether the board wants to suspend and pass on one reading or not, and suspend or pass on one reading each individually, or have one motion.
Just we discuss all four of them, then come back and suspend one time. So with that being said, we've discussed 6.2041. If there's no more question on that, go to 6.46.
yeah, because that's why I pulled it out here. You wanted to,
Is that where we're moving next?
yes, please.
Okay.
And we can do all that in one motion and just move past it just like that.
215, the instructional use of digital devices. There was a change based on the conversation at the planning session. In line 14, you see that director of schools or designee was added. And then in line 11, it was requested that that be for grades K through 12 instead of originally it was K through 5.
I'll move to approve 4.215 to be passed on first read. Like that motion?
Do we need to wait for a motion at the end, I think, after we discuss them all?
You can pass it on first read and waive second read and adopt it if that's your goal.
That's my goal.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion. Let me retract my first one. And I'll make a motion to adopt 4.215 on the first read, with the second read being waived.
Second.
Do we have a motion and a second to adopt 4.215 on first read and waive the second read? Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All eyes.
You want to move to 6.4053?
Yeah.
We want to
Let's do 6.412 since we've already
Okay.
discussed it.
Okay, 6.412, there have been no changes since the planning session, and as a reminder, the state law changed so that other forms of epinephrine could be administered, and it gave details on where we have to store epinephrine.
I'll make a motion to approve 6.412 and adopt it on the first read, with the second read being waived.
Have a motion to approve 6.412 on first read with the second read being waived. Any other discussion? 306.
I think so. Are there any questions on that one?
I'll move to adopt 6.306 on the first read and waive second read.
Have a motion and a second to approve 6.306 on first read and waive second read. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All eyes.
6.4053, outside applied behavior analysis therapy. Mr. Hall provided an updated draft of a policy for you to review.
It's Theo. On zero disruption standard,
Line.
I'm on the second page, line 1. I just have the question, as Mr. Schaefer raised, about causing any disruption. Like, is there a way that we could, Mr. Hall, that you would recommend that we could restate this, that allows for at least a conversation before we say to someone that has been paid by the parent that you're no longer welcome here?
Zero disruption standard is what the law would suggest. I mean, the policy is based on the law. I think
Is that in this? I didn't have time to read this afternoon. Can you tell me what page that might be on?
no, ma'am, I can. I can pull the public chapter though. Point you to that. If we could invite Dr. Johnson to the lectern too, I think she'll be instructive on, I mean, because I know we're dealing with private pay providers already. I'm certainly conscious of concerns, but I think we'll just let Dr. Johnson address that because I don't think that the legislature, with its good intentions, passes lots of things, but I can't imagine that Dr. Johnson or any of our teachers who've been dealing with these people for years now, in some cases, are going to suddenly run off the reservation, so to speak, to do something that's not appropriate. And I will add, there is an administrative appeal process in the policy.
Can I ask one just to be on the same page? That's the standard, but then at the bottom of the page, it says the district reserves the right to suspend. So are those kind of two different?
That's correct.
This says the policy is we don't tolerate disruptions, but we then decide how many. Does that make sense?
But wouldn't that be in the policy? I'm just going to say that
the board can put in the policy what it desires. In typical policy development and drafting rules, you want the policy to be as broad as possible to cover as many situations as possible and to give administration latitude and leadway. But the board can certainly adopt whatever language it wants in its policy.
Well, I kind of read this and I hear what you're saying and don't disagree with it. And I heard the speaker, but being a 30-year educator in our system, I hear that extra loud. I hear the parent too, but I take this law, the way Mr. Hall describes it, it maybe prior to the law, there was a canvassing attitude of there's nothing we can do, especially for ones that are under special programs. And I take it that now we have a means if there is a problem that is continuing or escalates out of hand, that there is another step, including the administrative appeal. So I don't expect you to tell us that you're going to do anything different than what you're doing, except there is another level should it not be able to be dealt with in all the steps we've taken so far. Is that generally what?
That is correct. Having that appeals process gives families the opportunity to state their side of things and their desire, or to even gather more information. It also gives our director of schools the opportunity to gather more information about what is considered a disruptive event or a disruptive situation, and then to make a decision on that. And I do want to stress with the board that we do a very comprehensive onboarding meeting. We talk about our expectations for the classroom setting. Outside service providers have to basically they have to supplement what we are doing in place, what we're in the classroom. They cannot interact in such a way that creates a denial of faith. That is our obligation to students. So we are very clear about that in that onboarding meeting. With the past 2 years especially, we have had anywhere from 15 to 20 outside service providers come in. We've used, instead of an MOU, we've had an interagency agreement, very much like the interagency agreement we use when we have an outside or private nurse come in, set up expectations. And in the 2 years, 2 or 3 instances where we've had to have a follow-up meeting to talk with an outside agency. And then I can think of 2 where we've had to ask for a different provider. The provider that was coming did not meet our expectations. And a different provider, we went through the same onboarding process with them. So expectations were very clear. But I appreciate the call it strictness, but I appreciate that protection of our provision of faith for students. I don't ever want those lines to be blurred, but we have been a very open district and almost anticipating this fall coming and also wanting to provide a bridge and a continuity of service for the services that students are receiving either in a clinical setting or a home setting. So there's greater consistency for the student. But we also have to acknowledge that those environments are different. The services that are provided in the clinical setting are a little different than in an educational setting or in a home setting. But if we can somehow bridge that and create greater consistency for the child, it's beneficial. I'll give you a specific example. If a student's working on a potty training protocol with an outside ABA or RBT, and they're doing that at home and in a clinical setting, well, that might look a little bit different than how it's done in the classroom. But if we can use the same visual schedule that a family's using at home in the classroom, that's better for a student. It's familiar. The likelihood of them making progress more quickly is much better, much faster. It's great. So that's just a simple example. But there are many with partnerships.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Just still back to your question about disruption. Disruption appears on page 9, page 12, page 15, page 14, page 18, page 21, page 20. Zero disruption appears in sample proposed memorandum of understanding, 28 and 20. Paragraph 5 says zero disruption in instructional integrity standards. And then page 29, section 8, under article termination for breach, any disruption to the classroom environment, instruction, or school operation. So that's where the zero disruption standard comes from. It's the sample memorandum of understanding drafted by the Department of Education.
So is this memorandum of understanding that we received, is this one, are you planning, Mr. Hall, on revamping this, or is this
the sample memorandum of understanding in the weeds?
Well, we got one in our
packet today. I don't know if that is a
That's
sample.
just the sample. I have one, for the director and Dr. Johnson and Dr. Winstead.
Do we have any other questions for Dr. Johnson?
I think mine just made me a comment. I understand what you're saying, and I think that's where I'm viewing it. I can see need for it may be one. There could be one that's so, challenging in a classroom that we're giving you the right to say anyone that would do that in a classroom. It's like it gives you that right. But then it also is looking to you for what I think you're demonstrating. You're looking to make this work because you recognize the value to the students and you're not jumping on, one strike, you're out. So to me, this is written, and I think it's something we would hear from folks down the road if that's not how it's playing out. And we certainly could come back and add language trying to give you better direction. But I feel comfortable in the moment saying, this is your discretion, and I think you will handle that well.
I believe that we would see, I think we would see a lot of abuse. And folks would be stepping forward to say, well, we fair process. We always want to act as a team, an IEP team, and talk about this work. Certainly, special child very well and work them, and I appreciate their advocacy, and I agree with making sure that we have a process for that. I think that's an important piece of this. We all need to have it. So every child that we serve is very different. Their needs are very different. And that appeals process gives us an opportunity to address maybe some unique situations that might.
We have a couple more questions. Sure. I don't think, Dr. Johnson. You might sit down and have to come back. I don't know.
Whatever you need.
Are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Matt? Okay. I mean, on
Well,
that
she can
point.
ask another question on this policy. Yes.
So on the first page, under access and conditions, parental consent. This might be nitpicky, but technically it's a parental request. And to me, that's a little different when I think of all the ways we go in an IEP meeting and we want consent to evaluate. It's sort of generated by the school. It's really more, it starts with a parental request to have this. So I didn't know if we could just change that to request/consent. Or
Yeah, that's a good catch.
just some indication.
That's on line 18, Ms. Langley.
Sorry, I'm looking at one that doesn't have lines. There's one.
Yeah, that's, there's.
Yeah,
documents.
18.
Are these documents the same ones with the lines, one without lines? Without line numbers? You got one with numbers, one without line numbers. Do y'all have that?
The one with line number. I know that's the last one. Got a couple of items.
Can I ask a question on Miss
Yes,
Lamprey's point?
Yes.
So, as it being a parental request, is this something that has to be written in the kid's IEP? It just has to be a request, but at that point, I don't know. I know the word request seems like a request could be denied. Is that a possibility to deny the request?
It is a possibility. We would need to discuss as a team the which usually that outside HCBA or board certified behavior analyst. They are responsible for conducting a functional assessment that may lead to that behavior intervention plan to make sure that the request does not interfere with the student's provision of faith. So discussed by the team there have been very few requests made in the last 2 years. That we very
And with good reason. And
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Haley?
on page 3 on the internal administrative appeals process, I was looking that over, and I see that the private pay provider is listed on the appeals process. I've seen the appeals process to be the parent appealing to the administration or the school system. So I see it on lines 15 and lines 24. I don't think I see anywhere else, but I'd almost think that the private pay would not be involved in the appeals process. Any thoughts on that? The provider.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a good catch. I should have caught that early.
And you're also saying they would not be at the hearing.
On the section of the internal administrative appeals.
Yeah, and that administrative hearing is if the director desires it. It's not a guaranteed. It's a written appeals process. There's no. Your voice chooses to have.
Does it have language that the providers?
It's personally based on the law. I don't think the provider would have rights under the MOU, but they would not have rights.
They may advise a parent from their private pay provider, but the parent, legal guardian of parent, has the ability to disagree with an appeal to the building level of administration.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Thiel.
I guess my question is to Ms. Johnson right now, that if the private pay company person, if they see that perhaps the teacher is not, like this talks about when the teacher sees the company, the private pay person doing something not appropriate. But how does that person, since you all have been doing this, how does that person convey perhaps that the teacher is not following the IEP plan or what's been established?
if very few instances of that, but if there is something that you feel is, and you're not there to tell them
exactly.
But if there is something, a concern that they have, like we would ask any adult, education system in that classroom, if they felt there was a concern, they would speak to
Any other questions?
Does this policy need to go on first and second read from the law 10.2? We'll make a motion. If y'all are ready or a discussion come after a second, if I get one, we'll make a motion that we approve this policy on first and second read with a deletion of the private pay provider in line 15 of the third page. And also line 24 where it says and provider with the deletion of those words in those two lines.
We also, motion also include adding the word request, as was discussed earlier.
On page 1.
I'm fine to make that part of my amendment, and I may not have picked up on that. So whoever suggested that, if you'll get in the right place for me, I'd appreciate it.
Page 1, line 18.
So page 1, line 18. We request on that same motion.
Dr. Johnson, how does that currently work? Like you said, they send you a request. Is that possibly just an email?
It has an email, phone call.
And then the big paperwork then includes a consent. Is that true? Is there another?
Saying, do we ask for something in writing?
Later, do we also get consent at some point as a separate?
What we do is we come together and
Going to be providing, and then the parent signs that, so you get your consent out of that process. This was.
Don't ask me to restate that.
No.
Thank you.
Second.
I have to adopt 6.4053 outside applied behavioral analysis therapy on the first read and waive the second read, modifying page 1, line 18 from consent to request, modifying page 3, line 15, removing private pay provider, and modifying page 3, line 24, removing provider.
One question
And provider.
about consent and request. Was it adding or changing out the words?
Changing.
Changing from consent to request.
Any other discussion? Vote, please.
Board me as a yes, please.
Ms. Brogdon, yes. Mr. Chadwick, yes. Mr. Haley, yes. Ms. Lampley, yes. Mr. Parker, no. Ms. Steele, no. Motion carries.
Next, we have on here the evaluation form for the director of schools. This is just for your information to review. I forgot that Ms. Steele and Ms. Lampley were not here when we had all the discussion and emails picking out the questions from the list. So I want to give y'all time to review it.
Thank you.
And we can talk about it in the planning session. Next, we have director's report.
I have presented a folder at your desk, and you will see my update around the work. And so we'll start with what is in your packet. And so I have, now this is a moving document, but to date, you will see out of zone and out of county enrollment. This will change, and I will share this document with you as it does change. It looks like this, but it's in your, is it in your folder? I don't know. Or you may not have it. Okay, I'll give that to you. It's in the bag. I've already made copies. The second thing that's in your folder, a piece of paper, is the 12-month employee.
I don't think we got that
240 day.
folder.
You don't get that folder? Well, guess what? They're right here with me. So I got Misty on the hunt. And this goes to. I apologize about that. You will see the 12 employees, 240 day, just the work calendar and work schedule. you will see that the law is interpreted in this with the sick and personal days. And then you will see discretionary days and how they're used. Misty, thank you. I found them. I had those. I apologize. Thank you. And I wanted to share that. The reason you do not have the 10-month and 11-month, we have not presented that. We will present it next week. And I would like for the principals and the teachers to see that. And then I will present that to you at the planning session. But this has already been instituted. And if you have any questions, let me know. And then let's talk about working on the work. Well, in the morning at 9 o'clock, Miss Mary Morrow and I will be on Channel 2. So we're going to be driving up to Nashville. We're really not looking forward to that. Mary has not done that. It's been a minute since I've been on the news, but we're going to be with Kenneth Forte talking about the Back to School Bash. And so
There, you'll be fine.
she'll do fine. She'll do fine. We're excited about that. So under student achievement, we're still looking at the data.
I want to go back to,
Okay.
tell me, what time are you all gonna?
We're on there at 7 o'clock.
Sherry still got a VCR. She's going to hit record.
9 o'clock. So we will be there.
So there's a lot of worse reasons to be on the news. So that's good news.
It's a good one. So we're going to talk about the partnership with 105 The Ride and the big Back to School Bash that I hope that you can attend at the fairgrounds this Saturday. And I do not have the time in front of me, nor did I write it down. 9 to 1. 9 to 1. So the directors will be out there. We're coming in schedules, so no one's going to be there from straight 9 to 1. But we're excited about the partnership. Students, any child getting free supplies and just getting to meet our families. Some we've met before, but some are brand new to our district. So we're excited about that. And we hope to see some of your faces if you would like to join us on that. We are still looking at the data. I know that I've asked Dr. Thiel. I like to have some comparison data of districts doing it well so that we can compare the work. And so she's busy doing that for me. We are actually working with the Drug Free Coalition on some new things that will be happening at NDA. And so I will share that once we kind of get the plan in place at a planning session. Of course, you've heard about the leader in me, and we will continue to share at the planning session that timeline from July this month and what it looks like moving forward. I'm really proud of the work that Dr. Bishop is doing, not only in intervention and RTI, but grant writing. And she has done a really great job with our directors in partnership. If they find something, they will work in collaboration to write grants. And she's been very successful at that. And we want to continue writing grants and providing opportunities for our students. We met with IXL. It's a supplemental material. As you know, I shared the data, and Algebra 1 is an area that we really want to focus on. And we think that through Dr. Marvin's work and Julie Outlaw, that this could help be a difference maker with teachers. So stay tuned. We'll share more about that once it's implemented. And they will be working with teachers. I know Dr. Marvin, the reason she couldn't go to News Channel 2 was because she's going to be in IXL training. But it was odd to me that my director of nursing decided she needed to get IXL training. But I said no. So I said, no, Mary, you were going with me. So teaching, leading, and learning, we've had the principals administrative camp this year. We made that camp from 2 days to 4 days. So our first day, we had Miss Hall and Mr. Holly. We talked about HR and safety. The second day was solely special education with ADA and some laws there. The third day was operational. And that's where we talked about the operational part of our district. And I shared with them what we are going to continue, and I shared with them working on the work and what is under my umbrella that they take. I did share with them something new. So in the fall, they will write how they are meeting the district's goals. In the spring, they will present to you how the district goals are being met at each school. So I didn't see anyone put in their resignations for their jobs or anything. And so my job is to make that connection. And I saw that maybe we had a disconnect this past year when I was asking teachers, what are our district's goals? And some could say it and some couldn't. And I think we just need to make sure that everybody knows what the goals that we're headed toward. And so the principals will be taking that on, and I will get that schedule out at one of the work sessions. Another professional development, of course, is the week of July 27th through the 31st. We invite you to come to any of that. We are tickled about the poverty training that will happen, and we appreciate Walnut Street Church of Christ for allowing us to use their facilities. But not just that, they are feeding every faculty member and staff member, and we just appreciate that partnership. But I thought that was huge for them to take that on, and we didn't ask for that. They volunteered to do that. And so secondary will come, Dr. Marvin, Friday, and elementary will come Tuesday. And so you're welcome to come to both or one. It's going to be the same conversation. We are working on a new handbook. It was presented to me, the behavior coordinators. And so once they have that completed and it receives Dr. Johnson's blessing completely and my blessing, we will present that to you at a work planning session. This week, Dr. Winstead and Miss Ernestine and I met with Kathy Hickerson from TriStar Horizon. We've got some things on the horizon, so stay tuned. And I will present that in August. So we're grateful for their partnership, but we want to blow this partnership out of the water. And I forgot that Derek Norman was sitting in that conversation with us, and we're excited. We will pull in more team members to talk about that work, and then we will share with you. On the operations side, we had some tree damage, trees down from the storm yesterday at Dickson County High School in Centennial. So Gerald and some of the maintenance have been cleaning that up. They're not finished yet, so they'll get after that tomorrow. We're very diligently working on classrooms to be ready for open house, which is July 30th. And there's lots of work going on everywhere. Finance, we have school auditors here and auditors who are doing our school audits. Personnel, we're continuing to hire for this new school year. Ms. Hall let you know the numbers. I will give, if you would like to drive a bus, please see Melissa Garten. We are needing 6 bus drivers. And so she gave me a thumbs up. So we wanted everyone to hear that. Community engagement. I attended the Performing Arts Academy at MTSU. Melissa Sutherland and Andrea Bobian went with me, and we were excited that Miss Patricia Hudson, former art teacher, always shares her tickets with us. But we want to give a shout out to Curtis Sutherland, who won the Arts Academy Teacher Hero, and that's huge. And so proud of him. And we recognized him before school was out this year. Me and Dr. Winstead did a back to school with 101.5 The Ride last month. And then back to school bash will be this Saturday. And then I spoke at Education Edge along with Derek. Typically, Dr. Bishop does that and Derek, but she was gallivanting on vacation. And so I stepped in and had a wonderful conversation with Dana Ramsey in that group. We are continuing to create procedures with the new laws and all the procedures that we've passed throughout the year. And it's a heavy lift, but you can come and see those procedures in my office at any time. Just let me know. But we are working on that diligently. Other than that, that's it. I do want to give a shout out. So Valerie, help me shout out Mr. Troy. So if you'll come up here, Mr. Troy, would you come up here? He has no idea that this is huge. So look at Troy. He's like, so Troy, I was elated to hear this news, and I think you're going to be the same way. So Miss Valerie, share the news with everyone.
He looks
here. Yes. Absolutely.
You will more formally see this next month with the fourth quarter financials. But Troy's department actually made a profit of $29,000.
Troy, thank you for your work. And I had to give you a shout out, and so did Valerie. So we were excited to hear that news. Keep up the good work. And I have to give a shout out to the principals, assistant principals, all the teachers getting ready for our students August 3rd, and to our directors who have been very busy in the work. Of course, this year we're going to put a stake in the ground. We are working on the work, and we're getting better at it. And so stay tuned. We're going to hit this wig, and we're getting better at things, and I see it, and I'm excited. It's hard, but we know that up front. So thank you for what you do each and every day, for supporting the work. We couldn't do this without you sitting beside me to my left and my right. And it's exciting work. And so we're excited about the new year. I will give you an update. The sports complex I should do my final walkthrough with Jeff Corlew and that team. Stay tuned to that. I did get an update from Derek that the CTE building probably will not be completed until October. Just due to some things that we need to correct. And so anyway, we'll keep you abreast to that, but I just learned that this past week. Questions for me?
Wasn't it supposed to be done October last year?
Yes.
Derek.
Okay,
Yes.
just making sure.
We're going to give like Mr. Hart.
That signed off on that. We do have some asphalt that's having to be relayed, and then after that we will sign off on it. Other questions? Thank you. Okay.
Next, we have comments by DCEA.
I want to first recognize past president, Ms. Rhonda Madden, who's in the audience, and I recognize her for all the leadership with Dickson Foundation. I want to thank everyone who came out to the candidate forum. I know that I saw Ms. Lampley and Mr. Chadwick, and we had about 70 people there. All the candidates were present, minus Jody Barrett, who sent his regards because he had a work thing. He was really upset he couldn't be there. We talked about everything from vouchers and special education to TCAP testing, teacher retention. I thought it was a really
wonderful opportunity for the community to ask questions where the candidates stand on education. And as we like to say, to educate their vote. That's very important to us in the association, that everyone educate your vote before you go out and cast a ballot. Early voting is going on right now, and it runs through August the 1st. Election day is August the 6th, and we just want to encourage everyone to exercise your right to vote. We want to recognize all of the coaches and the band directors who are working so tirelessly in this heat right now, and to give extracurricular opportunities to our kids. So we want to recognize them. We have the School Year's Eve social. It's our 6th annual School Year's Eve social, so we're very excited about that. That is tomorrow from 2 to 6 at the Nutrition Building, where Dr. Sutherland has graciously given DCA a place to house our new teacher supply room, which we are going to showcase tomorrow. So we're very excited about that. It's going to be catered. Spring Eats is catering. We encourage all Dickson County employees to come out. The community has donated door prizes, so we have lots of drawings for those. But the grand opening of the supply room is the most important thing. I remember when I was a new teacher and I came out of college, and of course you don't get paid till the end of September, and I didn't have cheap nickels to rub together, let alone be able to stock a classroom. And I was very fortunate to have veteran educators envelop me with their love and their hand-me-downs, where I could at least decorate bulletin boards and get a classroom set of dictionaries and things like that. So we are accepting donations from veteran teachers. We've gotten generous donations from community. The Women's Club has been wonderful, over $1,000 worth of materials for new teachers. And it's completely free to new teachers. They just come and they shop and they get to stock their classrooms. And we hope to make it's going to be year round. It's going to be run by retired teachers and teacher candidates. So we're very, very excited to offer this opportunity. That is all I have. And I did it. 8:29.
Thank you, Karen.
Next, we have comments by board members.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I saw. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie.
These were printed by Educators Rising.
Have any comments? I appreciate all the hard work that everyone's doing to try to get school started. Ms. Hall, I know you've had a lot of work the last few months, and we appreciate it. And I know teachers probably a little nervous about getting everything done before school starts, but we appreciate all the hard work. I have on here upcoming meetings. We have planning on 6th.
August 13th.
Not on that. So we have the planning 5 where we're meeting with the new administrators, right? Is it over in this?
It is. It will be in this.
13th.
5 at 5 o'clock. Dinner.
That's the work session day too, right?
Yes, after it. All right, we have anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.